Right, we're just here in Legazpi, and the Bicol region is known for its coconuts. The Philippines is one of the largest producers of coconut in the whole world. And you can see the food from this region is so coconut milk based. Things like Bicol Express, Lying, just to name a few. There are so many uses for coconut. The meat, for coconut milk, they use the fibers. So we're just here in a coconut plantation. We are gonna see how they make that beautiful, beautiful coconut milk that makes the food in this region so very special. Right, so I've just tried to take the coconuts from that tree, and to control this long bamboo stick is it's really, really difficult. I got one or two down just to control and get them in exactly the point where you have to cut them. For me, it's pretty much impossible. It's crazy. Well, this is a lot harder than it looks. You can see how sort of fibrous this is, right? And this actually protects the inside coconut. And there you have it. So this is now what they're going to take and sort of open it up, and inside is all of the white flesh. That white flesh they're going to scrape and then make coconut milk out of it. And now that we've taken the husk off the coconut, it's now time to sort of cut it in half. And what the locals have just shown me here is that every coconut has this sort of white spot here. And the best place to sort of cut it is if you take from there, there's a line that goes up, and that part there, that's where your knife has to go in. Okay? Let's give it a bash. And there you can see the white flesh inside. It's really, really firm. And that's because the coconut is of an older age. So we're just gonna scrape all of this out and then start making coconut milk. Okay, so basically what he's doing now is that these coconuts are the older coconuts. You can see the flesh is white and it's really, really firm. As opposed to the younger coconut, the flesh is really soft and you can scoop it out with a spoon. But this is really, really firm. So what he's doing is he's scraping out all of the flesh from the coconut. And then this is the first step to making coconut milk. You can see how sort of clean he's really got that, right? All of the meat has come out and it's all in there. This is basically an empty husk. Okay, so all of the coconut shavings before, he now just adds a little bit of water, and you can see how he's sort of pushing all of the coconut into the water, and instantly you can see the waters have changed to a milky texture. See there? And that already is tasting like fresh coconut milk. And the more he presses it, the thicker it'll get and the whiter it will get. It's tasting really good. It's naturally sweet. There's no sugar added to this, right? And really creamy. There's no way that you can find coconut milk this good in a can. And that just shows you how good the coconuts are. This is what makes the food in this region so very special. So we're just here with Bong. He's then going to show us how to make Bicol Express. He's going to show us lying, and he's also going to show us the way to make pancit from bicol. And this is something that's really, really exciting for me, because out of these 3 dishes, like 2 of them are hands down one of my favorite dishes. And you can see all of these ingredients here in front of us, and then Bong's going to show us how to make it. Okay?
She's been sitting there for a while now, with the same glass of wine.
Bong starts off by frying the onions and the garlic. He then adds the pork belly to the pot and fries it for a couple of seconds. He then adds bagaong alamang that's been rinsed in water a few times just to get rid of the excess saltiness. So after the bagaong's gone in and the seasoning's gone in, he's now going to throw in the coconut milk. The coconut milk then gets simmered, and a whole lot of chilies is then added. So after he added all of those chilies, he's just going to simmer it for about 2 minutes.
So she felt she had all eyes on her, laughing at that silly girl.
It's actually not as hot as what I expected it to be. But the heat's coming through now, just a little bit. It's actually really, really good. And you can taste the difference in the coconut milk that I use and the coconut milk here. It's just far superior. A lot fresher, and it makes all of the difference in this dish. This is the local pancit called pancit bicol. Bong fries the onions and garlic in hot oil. He then adds shrimps and shredded cooked chicken and fries it till the shrimps are cooked. Sayata and carrots are then added, as well as baguio beans. He then makes a mixture of chicken stock and soy sauce and then adds it to the pan with a little water and brown sugar. Then it's time for the shredded white cabbage, just a little cornstarch, the noodles, and salt and pepper. And how can you come to the Bicol region and not eat lying? This has to be up there as one of my favorites. It's a mixture of dried taro leaves, pork, coconut milk, and chilies. Our host in Legazpi is a very old friend of mine that I met in London, City Councillor Fernand Imperial.
We use coconut in most of our foods. We use coconut in laing and pinangat.
Right, yeah.
A lot of stuff. We love our lada.
Right, okay.
Yeah, people in Legazpi, we love our sile. We've become quite known for it. These are family recipes.
And you had to record these, right?
Yeah, we had to record these.
So this is like nothing new to you? Like this
No.
is just regular food for you, right?
Yeah.
This is something special for me. That is really good line.
Thanks.
Very good. So while we're here in Legazpi, is there anything we should go and see?
The ATV rides are pretty good.
Okay.
And those are the governor has called this Albay the ATV capital of the world.
Oh wow. Okay.
There's all the ATVs and going up Mount Mayon.
ATV sounds like loads of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Before heading to our ATV ride, we visit the Kaksawa ruins in Legazpi. A devastating eruption of the nearby Mount Mayon killed nearly 1,200 people, destroying the church and many local people seeking refuge inside. Walking through these ruins, one is reminded of the pure power that Mother Nature possesses. Our next stop in the Bicol region is the beautiful city of Sorsogon. It is the capital city of the province of Sorsogon, which is on the most southern tip of Luzon. We stayed at the Fernando's Hotel, which is actually an old family home that was converted into a hotel and is one of the very first hotels here in Sorsogon. We're just going to drop our bags off and then we'll head to Mrs. Amador's pili farm. Our next stop is the Amador's 12-hectare pili farm in Sorsogon. They have been growing pili trees here for at least 20 years. Mrs. Amador explains to me that pili trees have been indigenous to the Philippines archipelago for as long as history allows. The evergreen tree is a tropical species that grows really well in coastal regions, which makes Sorsogon the ideal location. The pili was not commercially cultivated till recently due to its high demand. The Philippines is one of the very few countries that grows and processes these tasty nuts. There are two ways of farming these trees. One is from grafting and the other is from a seed. Grafting is the farmer's choice around here, as it doesn't grow as tall as a seeded tree but still produces the same amount of nuts. With the smaller trees, it is so much easier to harvest. So this tree, this is a seeded pili tree. And as they were saying earlier, the difference between a seeded pili tree and a grafted pili tree is the size of it. And you can see this is apparently almost 100 years old. You can see how big and how difficult it would be to get right up the top there and sort of harvest all of the pili nuts. And as a farmer, it sort of makes sense to sort of graft them, keep the trees a little bit shorter, makes it easier to harvest. But this tree is enormous. The trunk is huge. Yeah, imagine climbing all the way up there to get pili nuts. It just doesn't make sense. The outside fruit is then removed and the inside shell is then left in the sun to dry. That's when the shell is cracked open and the delicious nut is then ready to eat.
Did you ever want to do all they told you to? You just say what?
To me, the pili nut tastes somewhere between an almond and a macadamia nut, but is so much more creamy and soft in texture. The nut spoils relatively quickly due to the high fat content. That's why you will always see them either candied, salted or preserved. Pili nuts are often ground into a healthier alternative to chocolate. They are also made into spreads, candies, brittles and tarts and are often used in many bread and muffin recipes in this region. Me personally, I love making pili nut pesto at home. I just substitute the pili for the pine nuts, blanched basil, garlic and parmesan, good quality olive oil, salt and pepper, and you're done. After stopping off at the pier to collect some fresh belucco, we then head to the Una restaurant. It's actually an Italian restaurant, but the owner John and the chefs were nice enough to take time out of their busy schedule to cook some local dishes for me to taste. Okay, so this belucco that's indigenous here to Sorsogon is cooked really, really nice. It's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. And then obviously the coconut milk just sort of brings all of that sweetness out. And then it's topped with just a little bit of parmesan, which helps with the saltiness. So again, like all of these dishes, it's got a really good balance of sweetness and saltiness, and these ones have sweetness and spice, and this is why these dishes are really so good. And then obviously we have beans for texture. The belucco almost looks like a scallop. It has the same sort of shape as the scallop meat, but it's a little bit firmer. This is actually my first time to eat belucco, and it's actually very, very good. Oh, again, this is the beluco. Same as that dish. This is just sort of deep fried. You can hear how crispy that is, right? Wow, that is really, really good. I can sort of imagine this, a really nice dish with a nice cold beer, a little bit of pica pica. This is a really, really nice. Sort of crispy on the outside, just a little bit salty. This is perfect beer food, right? Very nice. To make the kinonot napagi, the chef puts coconut milk in a cold pan. He then adds local chopped stingray that has been simmered beforehand till tender. Local garlic is then added with salt and pepper, then slowly brought to a simmer with red onions. Once the coconut milk comes to a rapid boil, he then adds a few generous handfuls of mulungai leaves. Once the leaves are cooked and wilted, a few really spicy red chilies are added. It then gets finished with a splash of coconut vinegar and some more coconut milk just to give it that extra richness. Wow, that's really nice. That stingray is really, really soft. It's really spicy with those like little chilies. And the coconut milk just sort of calms everything. The base of this is the stingray and the mulungai leaves. Very nice, very creamy, a little bit spicy. It's almost like a lime, almost, but it's made with stingray, and it's very, very spicy. Very nice. You can also taste the little garlic in there, and as it was with the prawns, they're not strong, they're just a little bit sweet. That sort of works well. This dish is really good because of the chilies, the coconut milk, and then that little garlic is a little bit sweet, and they all sort of kind of balance each other. Very, very good. Now to make the adobong ala musan. The garlic is fried with the red onion and ginger. The whole catfish is then added to the hot pan with peppercorns, bay leaves, vinegar and soy sauce, and left to cook all the way through. Once the fish is brown, the coconut milk is then added and it's ready to serve. I'm not normally a fan of catfish. This is cooked really nicely, it's really juicy, it's soft, and again, the coconut milk plays a huge part in this dish. You can taste the saltiness of the soy sauce. The ginger is a big player in this dish, with the fish that's sort of cooked to perfection. Really, really good dish, nice and creamy. I think this dish might have changed my mind on catfish. Really nice. After a long couple of days of tasting some amazing food in the Bicol region, I head to the picturesque Serangan Resort just outside Sorsogon to put my feet up and relax till our next culinary destination.
Next week on Market to Master.
Next time on Market to Master, we travel to the beautiful Fortuna Ranch in Masbate and also learn a little more about organic cattle farming.